Another bit of good eating from the woods can be had by those who know what they're looking for and where to find it: mushrooms. This is one place it's wise to get some expert tutoring. So I caught up with Alan Muscat, known simply to most as the Mushroom Man. Alan told me that out of around 10,000 varieties of mushrooms, there are over 200 edible ones and only a dozen or so deadly ones. So the trick is to learn what not to eat and then how to find the really good ones. Luckily, our Appalachian mountains have quite a few to offer. Alan, look at that one.
Oh, yes.
Well, we're hitting the jackpot already, aren't we?
Uh-huh.
Didn't take long on this walk to find something.
This is a bolete, and unfortunately there are maybe like half a dozen that look exactly like this, and that color combination is red on top, yellow on the bottom. But the neat thing about how to tell the difference between them is the third color that they turn when you bruise them.
Oh, look at that. It's like you painted it.
Yeah. Just like if you got bruised, you turn blue.
Right.
These do it too. So there's a lot of boletes in this group that turn blue. And that alone doesn't necessarily mean you can eat it or not. It's a bunch of different features that you put together.
Now, what I do know about boletes is that those are the ones that have the sponge and not the gills.
Yeah, you can see that easier when I cut it, that the pores are actually tubes. And they turn blue as soon as you cut them. Mm-hmm. And you're right, so the boletes have those tubes, and even though the ones in the store have the gills. Whether we can eat it or not, use all your senses. One of these smells like chicken bouillon. Like, see if you can get that.
It does.
Doesn't it?
It does smell like chicken bouillon.
Yeah. So that makes this one that that would be edible. Yeah.
Is this a good time to go out after a rain?
Yeah, but it's not overnight. It's like 5 days after is probably the best time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So don't go out right after a rain, but
yeah, you
come
want
out.
them to get big.
Yeah.
Big like that.
That's like an Easter egg hunt.
Wow.
Especially with the colors.
Why didn't you find that for us? Look, there's more.
Oh my, look at that one.
Wow, that one's huge. Let's go look at that one. You know what this is? It's one of the most famous mushrooms. This is the chanterelle.
The famous chanterelle.
We're really lucky around here. There are tons of it.
Oh, good.
In a good year, I find many pounds. Some years I don't find any. That's how it is, you know. You never know. But this is a beautiful one.
That is. And it's a beautiful mushroom.
And like we saw, they come in bunches. So we'll pick some up and have them for lunch.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be good. I'll help you get some.
And this is where the brush comes in. See, we'll just clean that off now. That way, it won't have to go in the basket. I even save these when there's tons of the chanterelles, and you can boil this down because you obviously can't clean it, but you boil it and then you strain it, and then you have like this great soup.
So how far down? You cut as far as you can down into the...
Yeah, you can actually pull it out and then...
and then cut that...
Yeah, and then cut it.
Okay,
exactly.
so you don't get dirt on the other...
Yeah, some people cut it first, but I think that sort of wastes mushroom.
Okay. All right.
See how much of that came out that you couldn't even see?
That's
all
right.
That stem. So I pull it out and
brush it off.
Yeah. Oh, look at this. Look over here.
Oh.
People can often guess what these are called.
Looks like coral.
That's right. That's what they call them. Coral mushrooms. It's like a little underwater scene.
It is.
Yeah. I can smell them.
You can?
Yeah.
You've been doing this a while then.
Oh, here we go. I knew it.
You're right. You did smell something.
I'm glad we found these. They call this leatherback around here. You can see why.
Oh, I can see why.
Turn it over, and it's gilled, right? You see the gills. But not all the gilled mushrooms do this when you break them. You see that? Look.
Oh, my.
Now, they could have also called this like rotten fishopus mushroom, because in a few minutes my hands will smell like rotting fish from this mushroom. So it's just Does it smell fishy at all?
Yeah, it's getting there.
Is it really?
It is, but it's not strong.
No, wait,
No.
we'll try in a few minutes, and then you'll see. It'll get stronger and stronger and more delightful. Now, under this hemlock, it's something I really want to show you.
Oh, okay. We hadn't come across a hemlock yet.
Yeah, and that's where you're going to find these. If I'm not mistaken, see what I see?
Oh, you're right. Look at that.
Now, does that look?
We've not seen that before.
No.
And
no.
that's because we're under a hemlock?
That's right. That's where you'll find these, or under pines. The plant or the tree relies on the fungus to survive. And that's true for at least 90% of the plants out there. Here, let me show this to you. Look at that.
What a beautiful mushroom.
I tell you what it's called?
Oh, no. What's the name of it?
What does it look like?
Oh, lobster.
Yeah, that's what it's called.
Oh, that's okay.
Yeah, lobsters.
Lobster mushroom. There are so many kinds of mushrooms that the beginner can easily get confused. They can take an amazing variety of shapes and colors. Alan, you've prepared quite a display here of mushrooms and things related to them. Can you give me a quick explanation of what we're looking at?
Sure. I bet you know what these are.
Oh, I know those. Now, I do go looking for morels in the spring.
Yeah.
It's a delicious mushroom. I think more people know those than any other.
So that's morels.
And they can be dried. We need to point that out.
Yeah, these are dried from months ago.
And some mushrooms you can dry to store them. Not all, but some, right?
Yeah,
Okay.
or freeze other ones. All three of these are different forms of what's called reishi.
Now, reishi, I've seen the name. I've read about them for Chinese medicine.
Yeah, they call this the mushroom of immortality. And it's a polypore. This scroll, you'll see this in ancient Chinese paintings, like several thousand years old. There's these two different species, actually. These two are the same, but they're all used equally medicinally. And this one, too. You should have seen this one. This is turkey tails.
Turkey tail.
Yeah,
okay.
Same thing. And that's also used medicinally, mostly all as immune system tonics.
Okay.
So used taking teas for a long time, just part of your daily tea. And there's one more I want to show you. I rarely find this because it's so small. This part is underground. All you see is those heads, but if you dig it up, you find an insect. Because this mushroom's parasitic on insects.
Amazing.
And they make a extract out of it that's medicinal. So you don't have to eat the bug and all, but they put the whole thing and they make like a soy sauce.
Of course, the proof of what's good is in the eating. Okay. So Alan offered to cook up the leatherbacks from our day's harvest. Now I have a question. In preparing mushrooms, do you wash them or just brush the dirt off, or?
Well, I showed you the brush that I've got on the knife. I do that even before it comes in. If there's more, I brush it off. Something like that, I'll cut off. But if you're coming from the woods, where human beings haven't been, trampling on them, or, dogs and such, they're clean. And there's a lot of vitamins that you would wash off, and they would get soggy often if you did. Look how soggy it is. Just
it is.
Remember this one?
Oh yes, that's the milk.
The stinky milky one.
Stinky milky one.
In fact, I won't check it now.
All right. Ooh.
Nice,
huh? Nice. Not the word I would think of for it, but I'll take your word for it. It'll be nice when it's cooked. Now, if I didn't know what I had and I was bringing it in to identify it, is it safe to touch or smell a mushroom that may turn out to be poisonous?
Yeah, that's a great question, especially if you're out with kids and stuff. It's perfectly safe to touch or smell like any mushroom, even if it ends up being a deadly mushroom. You have to actually eat a piece of it. You don't have to eat much, like this much will kill you of a deadly mushroom. But
as long as you don't do that, you're okay. All
yeah,
right.
Exactly. Almost ready here.
Now, I have also read in the books, there's edible but not choice. And there's edible and there's edible but not choice, so that would mean, yes, it could be eaten, but nobody would really want to. Would that be a good way to...
Edible but not incredible. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, we'll find out. Some people, don't care for this one, and some people do. I'm mixing oil and butter here. It keeps the butter from burning, and the butter tastes, Tastes even better. So
So
that's
mushrooms, when they're talking about edible, are there any that can be eaten raw?
You know, very few. It's a good question. So when they say edible, they actually mean edible when you cook it. And that's what we're doing. Getting that smell?
Love mushrooms.
Now you could put garlic in this too.
Oh, that would be good.
And onions. I mean, you can use them any way you'd use the stuff in the store. All right, I think we're ready.
Oh, I'm ready to taste it.
And you notice I didn't just like throw them in, take them out. We want to thoroughly cook them.
Thoroughly cooked.
Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
All right.
She hesitated.
That's delicious. I have a great natural flavor.
That's it. That's the leatherbacks, right there.
Oh, I'm adding that to my
On your
top
list?
5, yes.
Yeah.
I didn't
Great.
have 5 yet, now I do. Mushrooms are so fragile and short-lived that it's difficult to ship them long distances. Alan gathers and sells what he can to area restaurants.
Everything from restaurants to, groceries or farmers markets. And mostly I focus on the fine restaurants. I have about 30 in Asheville alone.
30?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They must be glad to see you coming. So whether you grow them or gather them, you can find a lot of good eating in mushrooms. If you decide to gather them, find local experts to show you how, and then enjoy some of that wildwood produce. This is Isla Hatter, thanking you for joining us on Folkways.